Hello and welcome to another video where today I'm going to be showing you how I edit my videos in Premiere. If you couldn't tell, I'm talking really quietly because it's 1:30 in the morning and I don't want to wake up anybody in this house. So this could also be somewhat of an ASMR video, but that's not the intention. I'm just going to show you how I edit my videos in Premiere Pro. So first thing you're going to want to do once you have Premiere opened is open a new project by clicking the new project button and then basically just naming your project. You don't really need to worry about any of these other things because I don't know what they mean, so just ignore that and click OK. Now this is really when editing begins, and you're just assembling all the video clips and audio files into your project so you can begin editing. There's two ways to do that. The first way is to go in here through your media browser, go through your device or any external devices you have connected, click through and then select which pieces of audio / video you want to include and then drag your media into the media timeline. Or if you have media somewhere on your computer like I do right here, these are my sample clips and sample audio. All you need to do is drag those onto your timeline just like that, and they will be imported wonderfully, amazingly. It's quite amazing. So I'm going to do that with both the video and the audio file. Once you've imported all of your video and audio clips that you need to use, you don't really need to be in this assembly tab anymore. You want to go to editing. The first thing you're going to want to do when you're editing, especially if you have a separate audio file than a video file, is you want to sync them up. If you have ever watched YouTube videos or watched movies for that matter, the reason why they clap at the beginning or smack that big smacker thing is so you can sync up the video with the audio. So this green line is my external mic audio, and this blue line is the audio that comes with the video from the camera. So I'm going to zoom in as far as I can and just try to match up my audio from my microphone to the audio from my camera, and that way they are synced. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut them so they're the same start length. And then I'm going to right click this video file and scroll down until I see Unlink. This will unlink the video from the audio from the camera file, the camera video file. Then while the video section is selected, I'm going to click Shift and then select the audio from my external mic. That's the green guy down there. Right click and then scroll down to click Link, and that way the video and the audio from the microphone are linked up. And then you don't need this audio from the camera anymore, so you click it and then click delete. I also want to point out that all of your video files are going to be up above this center line, and your audio files are going to be down below this center line. If you ever need to add any more audio tracks or video tracks, all you have to do is come over here, right click and click the Add Tracks button, and it'll give you the option to add as many tracks as you want. I don't need to add any tracks today, so I'm not going to do that, but if you ever need to, that's what you can do. You can also mute any tracks or make any tracks disappear with these buttons down here. That's only if that's what you need to do. So the most basic thing to do in Premiere is to cut up your video file and paste it together. So the easiest way to do that is to click the C key on your keyboard, which will change your cursor into this razor, and then wherever you take that razor across your video file and click, it's going to cut the file in two. You can also get there by clicking the button over here, and if you need to get back to the selection tool, you can select that right there. Or you can click the V, which will take you back to the selection tool as well. That's how you splice up any video clips. If you need to get rid of any kind of video clip, like this section that we just spliced off, you just want to make sure it's selected and then click delete and it will go away. If you ever have these awkward blank spaces of no video or anything, to get rid of that or to squeeze the files and audio tracks together, all you have to do is click that empty space and it will highlight white, and then click delete and it will move down, and that's how you do that. You can move around these tracks by just holding down and moving them around. It's very lovely. You can do the same with the audio tracks. As the video track, they are linked, so they will move in tandem. Any other basic editing tools I need are always under this effects control panel. To get there, you just need to make sure a clip is highlighted, so you click on a clip, and all of that stuff is going to be shown under this effects control panel. This is like the position, the scale, the rotation, all that stuff I use quite often depending on what I need to do. So you can either change this stuff by changing the numbers here, or you can click the word position and then move around the file however you want, whichever one is easiest for you. If you ever make a mistake, don't worry, just click Command Z and it'll take away that last thing you did. Same thing with scale. You can use the toggle switch. It'll change the scale of whatever you're working with. And then rotation is the same. It'll rotate it however you like. And yeah, most of this other stuff is along the same lines. You don't really need to use that a lot, but in case you do. The only time I use the scale thing is if I ever want to add a white border or a colored border around anything. So to add a border, I'm going to come over to all my project media, and I'm going to right click an empty space down here. If it lets me. I'm going to right click, and I'm going to go under new item and add a color matte. It's going to click OK, it's just the size. Then I can move my cursor around to whatever color I want. I'll click OK, OK, and now this color matte is basically just one big blank color. To make this a border around your project, just move your clip, that is your actual video clip, in front of that color background or color matte, and then change the scale of your video, and then you have a border. It's that easy. Boom. That way you have a border all around your whole thing, and that is how you do that. So I don't do this often, but sometimes you will want to color correct your video footage that you have taken, just in case it doesn't look right, or the white balance is off, or you just want to add some pizzazz to your video footage. So the easiest way, and probably the best way to do that, is to come again under your project media on this corner, right click. It's not letting me right click, I don't know why. And then click new item, and then click adjustment layer. Click OK. This way you're just editing the color correction on this adjustment layer, and if you mess up, all you have to do is delete the adjustment layer and then start over. That's just an extra safety so you don't mess up your video footage. Once you have an adjustment layer, come under this color panel, and all your basic corrections are going to be over here. You can change the white balance under this tab. You can add a LUT, which is basically just a preset kind of color package that changes things. You can get creative under this tab. It'll offer you some more looks, some more crazy stuff you can try. There's curves, which is my favorite. It's very similar to curves in Photoshop. They just add more dynamic depth to your image. You should always edit in S-curves, at least that's what they told me in the old photography class I have taken. Just makes it look more natural. See, look at that. More natural than if it wasn't there. And if you want to look at what the difference is with your edits, you can always unclick this checkmark box and click it again. Look at that. There's more life in this picture than without. However, I like this matte style, so I normally don't ever mess with any of this stuff. But yeah, get creative. I definitely recommend going in here and seeing what kind of style you like, and then you can always save a preset version of this that you can add to any of your videos so you don't have to go through every single time. And yeah, that is how you color correct in Premiere. Very, very easy. I'm going to get rid of this adjustment layer because I don't color correct. It's just something I don't do. I also want to point out that you can edit your workstation to whatever you want. You can make the video way bigger. You can make it way smaller. You can make your editing stage bigger. You can make these project media part bigger. It all just depends on what your workflow is. I like to keep the project view pretty big and the editing workstation pretty big. I don't really care about this stuff over here because it doesn't really affect me that much. But yeah, that's what I like to do. The next thing I'm going to show you how to do is how to add text to your project. The easiest way to do that is to click this type tool, or you can click the T key on your keyboard. Once you have the type cursor selected, all you have to do is go over your video and make a text box wherever you like, and then write some text in that text box. You can control this text by highlighting it, and then under your effects control panel, if you scroll down, you'll see basically a bunch of things you can do to change the text. You can change the fill color, the stroke color, the font size, the font type, the font style, centered, all of this jazz. It's all under the effects control panel, and you can change all that stuff. Once you've built your text box, it'll automatically add as another layer down in your workstation. You can move this layer around however you like to make it show up at different points in the timeline, in the video. You can also cut up this layer just like this and have multiple pieces, and you can extend these pieces however you see fit. If you ever need to move around this text, all you need to do is make sure that the cursor or the select tool is selected and grab the text box and just move it around however you like, and then line it up with your video so it looks cool. So that's what I'm going to do now. So this is what the final project looks like. And yeah, that's how you add text. I also recommend when you're editing to not make the playback full resolution. I recommend to go the lowest resolution you can. That way, you're not slowed down by the system trying to make the best resolution video for you, because that doesn't really matter when you're editing. The next editing thing I'm going to show you is how to clone yourself in Premiere. So this is probably one of the easiest tricks you can do, and it makes you look the coolest and most badass out of all the tricks you can do, because it looks so darn complicated, but it's actually really easy. All you need to do is have 2 sets of video filmed from the camera in the same spot, so the camera can't move, or move very, very slightly, and then you need whatever you're cloning to not overlap in both videos. So I'm going to show you a clip, or an example of a clip of what I mean by that. So as you can see in this first clip, this is me on the left side of the screen just chilling, and then you can see in this second clip that I'm just on the right side of the screen chilling as well. So to clone yourself in this scenario, all you need to do is take one of the videos and put it on top of the other, just like that. I'll open this up so you can see better what I'm doing. So you can see one of these video files is just right on top of the other. If you hover over it, you'll just see the one on top. You won't see the one on bottom, but that's okay. Then you're just going to come to this effects controls panel again, because it's an amazing panel. And under the opacity tab down here, you're going to want to click this square, and it'll basically just make a window that shows the top one. So anything that's not in this window is going to be the file that's below it. And so then you just expand this rectangle to reach everything that's in your top frame, so you get a duplicate of everything. You can also add anchor points here, and it's kind of crazy. You can click away, and you can see that I am in fact cloned. A good thing to do when you're doing this cloning stuff is under this opacity, there is a little tool called mask feather. The higher this mask feather is, the harder it's going to be to tell a difference between one of the video clips and the other, because it'll soften the shadows and all the other light elements that play into everything, so you can tell a difference between the two. And if you have the mask feather up high, you will have a harder time telling the difference between them. And that's the skinny on that. Here are some last minute tips. If you ever need to turn down the audio on any of your audio lanes, audio files, you just have to go under the audio panel, make sure your tracker is over whatever audio file you need to edit down or minimize the volume, and you can just change it with this guy right here, and it'll change the audio on that. You can tell a file or a track is edited or switched up, whatever the words are called. I can't think right now. It's 1 in the morning. Because it has this FX tab highlighted. Also, if you ever edit a file or a clip and you want to add those same edits to another clip, it's really easy. You don't have to go through manually and make them all the same. All you have to do is right click whatever clip is already edited, click the copy button, you right click whatever file you want to edit into that same style, and then you just click paste attributes. It'll ask you all the attributes you want to add on or copy and paste. Then it'll make that video clip the same attributes as the one that you copied from. You can also right click and remove all attributes or all edits you made in case you royally mess up and you need to start over. That's a cool tip you can use to do that. There is a bunch of other stuff you can do in Premiere Pro that I don't even know about, and stuff that I've used very seldomly but are still capable to be done in Premiere. I recommend, if you want to do something in Premiere and it's something a little more complicated than these basic things, that you just Google how to do it, because I'm sure someone knows how to do it, and there's probably a pretty easy guide on how to do it on YouTube or on Google, anywhere on the internet. But that's how I do most of my editing. I'm going to leave you with screenshots of all my export settings, and they should be appearing on the screen right now, right in front of your eyes. And this is just very helpful, because I know when I first started making videos, all this editing stuff came really easily. But if you don't really know what to export to, you can make a crazy cool video, but it won't show up properly on YouTube. So here is those export settings, and I give you freedom to just copy them and put them into your video. That's the jazz. That's everything. I hope you liked today's VEDA video. Hopefully it's going up today. Depends on what time I get around to editing it. But happy VEDA. That's the things. And I'm gonna go now. Okay. Goodbye. Have a good day.